All right, let's jump right in. We are about to pull back the curtain on a revolutionary secret about your brain. Seriously. It's an idea that could completely shift how you see yourself, moving you from feeling like a puppet, just reacting to life, to becoming the actual architect of your own experience.
You know the feeling, right? It's a gloomy day, and suddenly you feel kind of down. You get an annoying text, and bam, you're angry. So often, it feels like we're just bouncing around, reacting to whatever the world throws at us, like outside events are pulling all our strings. But what if, and stick with me here, what if that's all just a really convincing illusion? What if, when you get right down to it, you're the one holding the strings?
That is the huge idea we're going to unpack. You have a hidden power that you might not even know exists, and by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly what it is and how to start using it.
Okay, so first things first, we have to bust a massive myth. The common sense idea that we first sense something and then we react to it, well, it's just plain wrong. I know it feels true, but it's not actually what's happening inside your head.
So here's the secret. Your brain is not a reactive machine. It's a predictive one. It's a master guesser. It's constantly using every experience you've ever had to predict what's about to happen and get your body ready for it. Now, why would it do that? Well, it's all about energy. It's way more efficient to predict and then make small corrections than it is to react to every single thing from scratch.
And this loop shows you exactly how it works. See, the old model was sense, then act. But the reality is actually predict, then act, then sense. Your brain is trying to predict the next word I'm going to say before I even say it. And think about being thirsty. The second water hits your lips, you feel relief. That's way before it's actually been absorbed by your body. That feeling is the result of a successful prediction.
And you see this prediction machine working all the time. Ever wake up just a minute before your alarm goes off? That's your brain predicting the time. Mouthwatering just thinking about dinner? That's prediction. And get this, the caffeine headache? That's your brain predicting the constricting effect of coffee. So to keep things in balance, it actually dilates your blood vessels in advance. If you don't drink the coffee, you're just left with that painful dilation, a headache caused by a prediction that didn't come true. How wild is that?
Okay, so if the brain is always predicting, what on earth does that mean for our feelings? Well, this is where it gets really mind-blowing, because this idea completely changes our understanding of emotions.
You see, the old story was that emotions are like little alarm bells that get triggered by the world. But the science just doesn't back that up. Turns out, there's no single, universal fingerprint for any emotion. For example, people only scowl about 35% of the time they report feeling angry. So here's the new science. Emotions aren't triggered, they are constructed. Your brain takes physical sensations, like a racing heart or a knot in your stomach, and, based on the context and your past, it makes its best guess as to what they mean. And that guess is the emotion you feel.
This idea totally reframes how we think about really difficult experiences, like trauma. It's not just about what happened, it's about the meaning your brain makes of what happened. Let me tell you a story about a young woman named Maria that makes this crystal clear.
So, Maria had experiences where men were physically aggressive. It wasn't pleasant, but her brain's interpretation was simply, men are just assholes. It wasn't a personal trauma. But then, she watched a TV show where she learned a new concept, abuse. She inherited this idea from her culture. This new piece of information gave her brain a totally new way to categorize and predict from her past experiences. And just like that, the very same memory started to construct a new reality for her. She began developing the symptoms of clinical trauma. Her past didn't change, but the meaning her brain made of it did. Now, if our experiences are built from our brain's predictions, that is incredibly good news. Why? Because it means we can actually do something about it. We can actively work to change those predictions, and by doing that, we can change our own future. And there are really two main ways to go about this. Path one is all about reframing the past. This is what a lot of great therapy does. It helps you change the story you tell yourself. But path two is even more direct. You can create new experiences for yourself, right now. Think about it. If your brain only knows a silver cup as something to drink from, you can't just think it into becoming a vase. But if you actually go out, buy some flowers, and put them in the cup, you just created a brand new experience. You've given your brain new data for future predictions.
And that is the absolute key. You can't just wish your way into a new reality. Change takes action. You have to actively feed your brain what's called prediction error. You have to give it new information that proves its old guesses were wrong.
This is literally the science behind things like exposure therapy. You're giving yourself new experiences to rewrite your brain's predictive code.
So, what powers all of this? What gives your brain the resources it needs to actually learn from these new experiences and change its predictions? Well, that brings us to your brain's most important, most fundamental job. Believe it or not, your brain's #1 job isn't thinking or feeling or seeing. It's being a really, really good accountant for your body. It's managing your body's budget. It is constantly predicting what resources you'll need, like glucose, oxygen, salt, and trying to make sure you have them before you even know you need them. Every single thing you do has a cost.
You can think of your energy like a pie chart. Most of it is just used to keep the lights on, your basic bodily functions. But a pretty big slice is used for what we call effortful actions, and that includes learning new things, dealing with stress, and exercising. Now, if you're under chronic stress, it's like there's a constant tax being taken out of your budget. You have fewer and fewer resources left over for learning and changing. This is actually why some scientists are now starting to see depression as a metabolic disorder. It's a brain that's stuck running on a massive budget deficit.
Okay, let's put all these pieces together with a really powerful real-world example. The neuroscientist Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett actually used these exact principles to help her own daughter recover from clinical depression, to help her go from puppet to architect.
Look at this toolkit. They didn't just focus on her thoughts. They focused on rebuilding her body's budget, eating nutritious food to give her brain the raw materials it needed, strict sleep hygiene so her body could repair itself, intense exercise to build metabolic strength, and even scheduled time for social connection, because other people are one of the best ways we regulate our own systems. They tackled the problem from the ground up, giving her brain the energy it needed to start making new, healthier predictions.
And there's this one little story from that time that just perfectly captures this idea of making meaning. When her daughter was nervous before her black belt karate test, her instructor didn't say calm down, he said, get your butterflies flying in formation. He was teaching her to take all those physical sensations of anxiety, the racing heart, the jittery stomach, and construct them as focused determination. Same physical feeling, completely different meaning, and a completely different outcome.
So when you put all this together, what's the big takeaway here? It is a truly profound shift in how you can see yourself and your life.
Here it is. You are not a passive spectator just reacting to some objective world out there. You are an active creator. Your brain is using your past to predict and construct your reality in every single moment. And when you understand that process, when you start managing your body's budget and deliberately creating new experiences, you become the architect.
And that leads us to this final, crucial point. This is not about blaming yourself for where you are. Not at all. It's about agency. It's about understanding that you have a new kind of responsibility. Not the responsibility of blame, but the responsibility of power. The power and the opportunity to build a different future because you are the only one who can.